Hey everyone, today we're jumping right in and breaking down how you can use AI to seriously level up your marketing campaigns, specifically with ideation and audience segmentation. And we're not just talking theory here. This is a practical blueprint you can start using, well, pretty much tomorrow.
So, does this sound familiar? You know you need to come up with fresh campaign ideas. You know you need to dig into your data and really understand your audience. But who has the time? For most marketing teams, the answer is nobody. You're so busy just keeping the lights on that so many brilliant strategic ideas just never see the light of day. But what if you could change that? This is the whole promise we're digging into. Look, AI is not here to do your creative or strategic thinking for you. It's a tool. It's designed to expand the sandbox you get to play in, giving you way more to think with and getting you there a heck of a lot faster. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is the actual promise here? What does using AI for ideation and segmentation really do for you and your team on a practical level?
It really boils down to three huge benefits. First, you're not brainstorming into a void anymore. Your team gets to start by evaluating a whole bank of AI-generated ideas right from the jump. Second, the AI can spot these little hidden patterns and microsegments in your data. The kinds of insights that might take a human analyst weeks to find. And third, it gives your creative team a real structured starting point for each of those segments so you can finally get away from that one-size-fits-all message.
So, what do you actually need to get this off the ground? The good news is, it's not about having some crazy advanced tech stack. It's really all about having the right strategic ingredients. Think of it as a pre-flight checklist. You need 5 things. Number 1, a super sharp one-page strategic brief. This is your North Star. Then you need at least 6 months of real customer data, purchase history, web behavior, so the AI has something to chew on. You also need a clear brand voice guide, a few examples of what your competitors are up to, and, this one's critical, a named creative lead, a real person who has the final say. And I really want to pause on this for a second, because it is the single most important rule of this whole process. If you remember one thing, remember this. A tight, specific, well-thought-out brief is going to give you brilliant, on-point AI concepts. A vague brief, you're just going to get a ton of noise every single time. All right, so you've got your checklist ready to go. Now let's walk through the actual deployment blueprint. This is how you go from a totally blank page to a set of actionable frameworks your team can run with. There are 6 steps here. First, and I know I sound like a broken record, write that brief before you touch any AI tool. Then you run the segmentation analysis on your data. From that, you're going to pick just 2 or 3 high-value segments to focus on. Then you generate the big concept bank. After that, your creative lead evaluates those concepts. And finally, you build out the winning idea into specific messaging for each of your chosen segments. Now, that evaluation step, step 5, is absolutely crucial. Your creative lead isn't just picking concepts they personally like. They're running each idea through a filter. They're asking 3 questions. Does this actually meet our strategic goal? Does this sound like our brand? And is this actually different from what everyone else is doing? A concept has to get a yes on all 3 to move on. Okay, so once you've picked your concepts, things can start moving incredibly fast. And that speed is a superpower. But it also means you absolutely must have some guardrails in place. You have to remember, these are professional tools and they require professional oversight. We're talking 3 non-negotiables. First, your brand team has to review every concept before a single dollar is spent on development. Second, legal and compliance have to sign off on the messaging frameworks before assets get made. And third, and this is a big one, you have to feed the campaign performance data back into the model. That's how you close the loop and make the AI smarter for next time. That last point about data actually brings us right to the most common mistakes. We've already hammered on the weak brief. Another trap is just accepting a segment name the AI gives you, like loyalists, without digging into the behavior that defines them. Also, treating AI concepts as finished creative is a huge error. They're starting points, not final ads. And finally, not closing that data loop means you never get those compounding returns. This quote gets right to the heart of that number 1 mistake. There's this fear that a really detailed brief will somehow limit the AI's creativity, but it's the exact opposite. The brief is what focuses the AI's power. It turns it from this wide, unfocused floodlight into a laser beam pointed right at the problem you need to solve. It's all about direction, not constraint. Okay, we have covered the entire playbook here, from what you need to start, to the steps to take, to the mistakes to avoid. But if you walk away and only do one thing this week, what should it be?
What's that single most important first step?
It's just one thing.
Write the brief. That's it. Before you research any tools, before you pull any data, before you book a single meeting, get your strategy down on a single page. Your objective, your audience, your message, your metrics, that is the foundational work. So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Go pull up your last campaign brief. Look at it. Is it clear enough? Is it specific enough? Is it strong enough to direct a powerful AI? Because if the answer is yes, then you're ready to deploy tomorrow.